Wayne Couzens has been attacked inside of HMP FRANKLAND in County Durham, which has now been called Monster Mansion in the local press. Even though I've said this previously, HMP Wakefield is the original Monster Mansion. Now, Wayne Couzens, like I mentioned, he's on the same wing as Ian Huntley was on when Ian Huntley was murdered. And Wayne Couzens was asking for extra protection. The good news is he's been attacked, but the not so good news is that it isn't very serious. There was no weapons involved, but he has been attacked inside of HMP FRANKLAND. Now, I received this information last night, and obviously with the time difference where I'm at, I didn't want to do the video straight away because a lot of people were out partying as well, and I wanted a lot of people to see this video, as many as possible, to hear the news of Wayne Couzens. Now, you will be wondering, where have I heard the news from? Because people have asked previously when I've done videos and I've told people about these sorts of stories about what happens in the prisons, and sometimes, like in the instance of Ian Huntley, I had it on my channel before it even hit the local press and before any of the press reported on it. So I reported on it first on here because I do get a lot of first-hand information from up and down the UK about what happens inside the prison system. But what I will say from the evidence, what I will say from the information, shall I say, that I have received, it has come from an ex-corrupt screw who no longer works in the system. But just because he doesn't work in the system doesn't mean he doesn't know people in the system and he doesn't get told things. And there is certain WhatsApp groups going around with only prison officers in, and a lot of them circulate these types of stories. And like I say, my source was the one that also told us about Ian Huntley, and he's told us about the Wayne Couzens. And it happened on A-Wing in HMP FRANKLAND. But I've also got lads inside the prison as well who are up on F-Wing, who I do speak to on a regular basis. And I have been in touch with one of them today. And I said, is this true about Wayne Couzens? Because anybody that gets attacked like that in a prison, it circulates. F-Wing and G-Wing are the normal location wings, and J-Wing, which was the newest wing that was built, and A, B, C, and D are all the non-bacon wings down the bottom. So Wayne Couzens has been attacked, but he was attacked in the dinner queue on the evening of Sunday, the 24th, which was yesterday, which was last night. And obviously inside the prisons, it's weekend routine. And as they were going for their tea, before bang up in the dinner queue, and what I mean by dinner queue in prisons, there's a hatch where everyone queues up with your trays or your whatever, and your plates, and you're walking through and you're getting served. And Wayne Couzens has been attacked from behind and he's been knocked to the floor. But the screws are on high alert for people like Wayne Couzens, so it was immediately stopped. He was knocked to the floor, wasn't unconscious. He did go face first into the floor, but that was as far as it went. But I've told you I will keep you updated about attacks like this inside the prison system. And I did do one on Wayne Couzens, saying that he was one of the ones that was next on the list. So the reason why he's been attacked was not known as of yet, but he's been attacked all the same. and it hasn't been as serious as Ian Huntley. But believe you me, they will. People like Wayne Couzens and other monsters that are in there with him will be on high alert for these attacks. And like I said in the previous videos as well, those bacons that are on Air Wing, because when I've done this video as well, someone says, well, how come you know so much about this? Obviously, when I was inside of HMP FRANKLAND, up on F&G, which was the only two normal location wings when I was there at the time, then they were on building J Wing. And all the wings down the bottom, A, B, C, and D, like I've mentioned, are all the bacon wings, but Air Wing is where they're housing the most serious and the most high profile, because especially now these murders are happening, they need to keep an eye on them more carefully, because whose head's going to be on the chopping block? The governors and the staff that are on duty. Because when there's investigations, these screws that are on duty, especially in the case of, like we've just said, Ian Huntley, who's high profile, they were saying, how come he's so high profile, he's supposed to be protected, and there's massive investigations? And the screws that were on duty, and the governors who were on duty, and not just the ones that are on duty, the number one governors, then the governors underneath them, all of them will be getting questioned about these murders and asking how have they taken place. So that's why Air Wing, where all these wrong-uns are kept, all the worst of the worst, the most high profile, the likes of Levi Belfield, the Morgue Monster, there was another two that I remembered, but I remember the nickname of one of them is called the Grinder Killer, or Grinder, however you pronounce it. He's on there. And like I've said, Levi Belfield, Wayne Couzens, David Fuller, he's the Morgue Monster, and he's become friends with Wayne Couzens. But all of these are absolute monsters, and they're housing them together to keep them on more close protection. Because like I've said, the governors don't want this happening on their call, and it is going to be happening a lot more, because there is a lot more coming to light, and there is more high-profile prisoners doing life without parole, and prisoners that are doing 30 and 40-year stretches that are never getting out, that want a bit more fame inside of prison, like the ones that killed Ian Watkins. That's Rico, the one I done the video on the other day. He said he wanted to hurt them. He wanted to get off the wing, and that's what they do to get off the wing. If they want a bit more infamity, or if that's even a word, want to be more infamous, then what do? You kill a bacon inside of prison. But most of the prisons that have these protection wings for the bacons, a lot of them are mixed in with people who are deadheads, people who are involved with drugs or who've racked up massive drug bills and they can't pay them, so they grasp to the screws or whatever and they get put on protection. Or they find out that to be snitches or they're snitching on the other inmates. Then they go down to live with these. Then they come into contact with them and then it goes off. These are the type of prisoners that attack them. But the majority of the time, these attacks inside of prison are bacon on bacon. Proper bacon feast. Just like the one that killed Ian Huntley. He was an absolute piece of work himself. And no doubt, after he's been in the block for 10 years, when he gets out, he will probably get a taste of his own medicine, because that's what happens to those type of predators. But Wayne Couzens is an absolute animal. I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but I'm sure everybody who's watched my channel, and I'm sure everybody is familiar with who Wayne Couzens is, the ex-copper, or the copper at the time, who killed 33-year-old Sarah Everard on the 3rd of March 2021, and he's serving life without parole. He is never to be released. So he is going to spend the rest of his life living in fear inside of high security prisons. And that is not a place or a feeling that you want to be feeling. And he is going to feel it for the rest of his sorry days. Because he'll be looking at Ian Huntley and thinking, he would have thought, well, Huntley's been in prison a very long time. Nearly 2 decades. Can't remember exact year he went in. But it will be nearly 2 decades when he was in prison and he met his maker. Another bacon. He met his maker after all that time. So Wayne Couzens will be thinking, it doesn't matter how long I'm inside a prison, I am never going to be safe. Because not only was he a Metropolitan Police Constable, whilst he done it, he actually raped her, then murdered her in the most brutal way, and then disposed of her body. So he is going to look over his shoulder for the rest of his life, and it will be more than a punch to the back of the head. I'm telling you now, people. Keep watching, and I will keep you updated on here. But there is plenty more stories to come. There was quite a few that I've got backlogged that I was going to go over. But because this one has just come to light, I thought I'd best get this on and give you the good news that Wayne Couzens, even though it wasn't so serious, he's still been battered and fell face first into the floor, popped his face open. So it is still a good enough just desserts for Mr. Couzens inside a prison waiting to see what will come of him in the future. Because like I say, all these prisoners that are in for these type of offences, and more so a copper at the time, will get prison justice, and it will be getting reported on this channel. But keep watching, people, because like I say, I've got a load of videos stacked up ready to put on. But I wanted to bring this on and give you the good news about Mr. Wayne Couzens. But I'm going to leave that one there for now. People, hopefully you're all enjoying your bank holiday in the UK and you're not too rough. And if you are, get to the gym tomorrow and enjoy your week ahead. Stay safe, people. But more, let me say that again, because I'm not editing this bit out. Don't forget to remember, people, I'm getting me fucking words tied up at the end of here, but it doesn't matter because I'm still putting it on. Remember, people, to comment, like, and subscribe, but most importantly, stay safe. I got it right that time.